Welcome to episode 10 of the HAWKENING. We are Hawking, and we are very jazzed to have with us the Escapes, Keely and Isabel, bass and vocals respectively. How are you guys doing?
Really good.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here. This is super, super rad.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, let's jump right into talking about this sick artist development deal that you guys just struck with 604.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
That's a great question. So Max, who couldn't be here with us today, he is the lead guitarist in our band.
Sounds like he's dead.
May he rest in peace. He was great. Torn from life. No, but he was. His dad owns a restaurant cafe chain of like around Vancouver called the Railtown Cafe, and he has a location around where the like the 604 base is, or
base of operations.
Yeah. Base of operations, military base. And his dad called the label just because, like, hey, you know, how hard could it be to try and get a connection to a label? Yeah. You know, like, we'll just see how it goes. And so he gives them a call, and this is like back in October, late September, and he was just like, hey, like, my restaurant is like right beside your studio, my son's in a band, or just like, I don't know what specifically he said. Yeah. And soon after that, he got a call back from one of the label executives.
Yeah, or an email. I think he spent a couple weeks just sitting on it without telling us, just waiting for an email back, not sure if it was going to go anywhere. But then he got an email back saying, sweet, I'd love to meet them, listen to some of the music, have them come in and speak with us. So we went in, we got to hang out at 604 for a bit, and then it was another couple agonizing weeks of not hearing back, and then then we get an email forward to us. I was actually at work, so I work at a music store, so they understand kind of what's going on with the whole band thing. But I was at work, and I get a FaceTime group chat from Isabel and Max saying, Keely, check your email right now. And I was like, okay. So I ran to the back and I checked my email, and it's this long forwarded message from Jonathan Simkin of 604 saying, we would love to strike up a development deal. And then he went so on forth to explain sort of what that entails.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Nice.
Yeah. Lots of screaming. Lots of like.
Lots of happiness. Because that's sort of the in that you want from the industry. Like, no one gives you help, so the fact that someone is reaching out and giving you help, that's incredible.
Yeah,
especially someone like Jonathan Simkin.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you guys show him like recorded music? Did you play live for him? What did you do?
So basically, the only real legitimate release music that we have right now is an album that we recorded live in White Rock at Blue Frog Studios, and it's called Take Me Back. It's 10 songs, all of which we wrote and made ourselves, and so that was really the only official music that we have. It was recorded live, so it wasn't like every track was recorded perfectly. It was just like 2 hours. 2 hours, yeah.
2 hours live off.
So
you guys 10 songs in 2 hours?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Followed by
very well done.
2 hour live show. Yeah.
Damn.
That's severely impressive.
Yeah. Not moderately impressive, severely impressive.
That's chronically impressive. It's impressive, and it's going to keep being impressive until
that is high praise.
Collapse from it.
Thank you.
But
so
like, the thing that strikes me is like that doesn't happen, or it's not supposed to. Like, the music industry is supposed to.
It doesn't work that
like
way.
Be bad right now.
That's the trend.
You're supposed to be struggling for like 5 years. Yeah. I think we're super grateful that he would have taken interest in us, and we're like, we never would have expected anything to happen. We didn't even realize that the email had been sent. Like, this was hidden from us for a couple of weeks until he even heard back. So
that's the most like exciting way to find out.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. It just kind of sneaks up on you, and then you're like, oh, I wasn't really planning on. But okay, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you guys feel your case is an anomaly? Like, has this been happening to your friends' bands as well, or do you feel like you were picked from, you know, the litter of 1,000 bands?
We've kind of, like, I wouldn't go so far as to say we're an anomaly. We feel really blessed to have gotten this opportunity, but yeah, we know that there's so many people out there that are just working just as hard as us, and it's just, there's so much local music, I think, that hasn't been discovered yet. And then there's of course,
so true. There's
some that has too, like Fionn, they're around here, they're two twin sisters. They also just they were in the same shoes as us. They had a demo deal, and then they went on forward to be signed with 604.
Yeah.
And now they're working with them too, and they're local sort of White Rock girls too.
I played with them solo acoustic over and over again.
Yeah.
Like
no way.
Back in the day when we were like 14 or 15 or 16, and we were doing like the same like talent show contest.
Diamond in the Rock.
Diamond in the Rock.
Hey!
I won that in 2012, and then
Awesome.
I was judging the next year, and then
I think I was there.
That's
when I saw you.
that was the first time that we interacted in a musical context. Small world.
Small world.
You don't know what Diamond in the Rock is, do you?
No, I've seen the poster at one of the breakfast places by Graham's.
Yeah, the round. It's like battle bands of singer-songwriters and like solo musicians.
Okay.
And
yeah,
they do.
Centers,
Like I went to one where I saw Curtis from Switch to Black.
Classic.
Yeah.
And
Classic.
Jacob.
I can't believe. Wow.
It was a small world.
When was that? 2013?
Years ago.
That would have been before I
Actually
joined.
insane.
That's wild.
Wow.
That was pre-escapes.
That was definitely pre-escapes.
What kind of music were you playing back then? Both of you guys.
Very singer-songwritery, folk pop type stuff, because that was kind of, the stuff that I grew up listening to, like Sheryl Crow and Feist, and just this, and obviously like whatever was on the radio, like in a pop context, like obviously Taylor Swift is a big one because she writes all of her own stuff, but it's just like I wanted to just kind of explore that and try and figure out my voice in that context.
Right.
So I wasn't really practicing a lot of super technical guitar or piano or anything like that, which I kind of regret now because my bandmates are extremely talented in that aspect. But yeah, I was just always focused on writing
Nice.
in that aspect.
How about you?
I was just doing a lot of playing piano on my own because my first instrument's piano, so that's what I learned.
Right.
That's what I grew up on. Doing a little bit of guitar, trying to write songs very unsuccessfully. I find it easier to write when I'm able to like bounce off of people like Isabel.
Nice.
But yeah, just a lot of my own sort of.
Well, it's
muddling
super
around
interesting because
nothing
you guys have a very like funky kind of fusion influence going on. What I'm curious about is what is the process like with that in terms of how theory heavy versus like just vibing what's going on, because that seems to be the dichotomy with fusion-y, you know.
Yeah, for sure. It's actually really funny because when back in September 2015, like October 2015, when I first met Max and Jack and Rhett, and then Keely was added to the mix later, we all kind of figured out immediately right away that we all were very different people musically, because Max and Jack and Rhett all came from jazz band in high school, and they just grew up listening to jazz and rock and funk and just knew how to play that kind of music in that type of context, and blues and all those kinds of things. And Keely and I were very much
The
sort of like
mentality.
pop singer-songwriter type stuff. So we trying to figure out how to write
together.
It was a mental switch for sure, but it definitely is a combination of like vibing and learning what sounds good.
It sort of sounds like how we put songs together, because we all come from different musical backgrounds as well. But then you have the couple musicians who listen to one type of genre that like want that song made.
Yeah.
So you all have to sort of make sure that happens. But we're very theory driven as well. So he's been getting into the fusion.
Really?
So now
That's
we're
really
implementing
cool.
that into it, and it opens our minds.
I guess
to
we're a
new
little bit
types.
of a different scenario than you guys are, because I'm the jazz band guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
no
I guess
way.
Saul is also kind of jazz, but he's more
Saul's
classically
classical, yeah.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
did,
no way, that's
he did
so
Royal
cool.
Conservatory.
No way.
Hi, Saul.
Hi, Saul. Nice to meet you. I'm Isabel.
I'm Keely.
They're on your show and you're not. How do you feel?
So sad.
Yeah, so me and Saul are more of the like
Classic.
grown-up theory.
Grown-up theory?
You're the
Like,
grown-ups
like
of the band. Yeah.
No, not like grown-up theory, but like we grew up learning theory,
Oh, I see.
if that makes sense.
Oh
I
no,
just don't know
yeah.
how
It's
to-
like embedded into how
Yeah,
you
that's-
think about
yeah,
music.
Yeah,
That
they
is.
focused on the technicalities.
Yeah, and-
sort of
and
focused on the feel.
you were always the more songwriter guy.
Yeah.
And then you did the whole like open tuning stuff when you're back in the math rock days.
Yeah.
And that kind of had like the theory just pre-built in the guitar.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And then now you've been diving into all the the jazz 7th, 9th chord.
How do you guys make it work with your bandmates? How do songs come to fruition? Like, how do you all agree on one idea?
Basically, how a lot of our songs on Take Me Back kind of originated was because we would practice. We were all free during the weekends because we were all still in school and we all had similar school schedules. So we all were just kind of sat in Max's little practice room and just kind of jammed. And if something came up, then that would be great. Usually it would be either Max or Max on the guitar or Jack on the piano, just playing random riffs or little Like Take Me Back was him being like and then doing like very bluesy kind of dun, 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 dun. And I was just like, I like that.
So you guys
I
work
like
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's from like a jamming perspective. 'cause
Totally.
We don't use that word.
Oh really?
Jam is the enemy.
Time to jam.
I don't.
But,
I think we've like we individually jam together. Like
Yeah.
we jam together.
Or more peanut butter. Okay.
I see what you did there.
But yeah.
No, I would say it's a very collaborative
Okay. Yeah.
thing.
At the same time, like a lot of our more recent music, because at the beginning with the first album, I've personally found, I don't want to speak for everyone, that like the first album was like very collaborative, but it wasn't as personal. Whereas like the stuff that we're working on now, it's a lot more of like Max and Isabel and I will get together and then the three of us will just sit around and be like, what can we do here? And because there's three people sort of working on lyrics now, and it used to be just a lot of just her or just me, we've just been able to incorporate like a lot of our sort of personal ideas and feelings
awesome.
into the lyrics. So I find that our new stuff, that some of it's on YouTube.
That's sort of the.
Check it out.
Little plug, we have 3 new songs on our YouTube channel. Yeah. Very
The
soon.
thing that's really interesting, like in a more, I guess, a broader context, is I think the resurgence of that funk fusion vibe, because that's coming back a lot. Like I think R&B and hip hop really brought that back with sort of the offbeat swing type of groove.
Yeah.
You know, like Frank Ocean, I think especially, like he did a lot of the, you could call it like the H&M chords.
The H&M.
Yeah.
Really nice but mysterious chords.
Do you know the way?
I think it's a lot of the mysterious fused with sort of stuff that maybe like Wolfpack's doing too.
Nice.
And Hiatus Coyote.
Yeah.
That's something
Hiatus
that
Coyotes.
They're
amazing.
Yeah.
Not enough people are pushing the boundaries with that. Everyone's going pop, you know, and just straight pop.
Well, that's the biggest thing in the heavy scene right now is like I'm literally mind blown every time I like open up Facebook and there's a new video out from somebody that just sounds like Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh.
And it's like,
Oh my goodness.
that has
It's been done.
It's been done.
the words "that's been done" don't come even close to describing the delusion that it takes for you to have gotten from writing the song and going like, yes, we're gonna make this a thing, and we're gonna shoot a video, we're gonna go into the studio, we're gonna like, throughout that whole process you had to be like dedicated to like putting out something that sounds exactly
That's great.
what was groundbreaking 12 years ago.
Yeah, that's exactly the opposite of what we want to do. Like what's great about just like the different musical backgrounds that we have is that we all have our different colors to put into a song to make it not sound like everything else. Like the songs that we write aren't just straight up punk songs. They also aren't straight up rock songs or pop songs or whatever. It's like a little bit of everything.
It's the main reason we've never been able to push ourselves into like one genre.
Yeah.
Story of our life.
Prog, alt, rock. That's pretty good though. That's pretty good.
If there was a family to join with you guys, sort of joining the 604 family, not officially, but with the development deal, like you guys are surrounded by artists that do push boundaries. Like Fake Shark is one of the big ones.
Yeah.
And that's something that really isn't being done. Like that sort of rappy, you know, super hip hop but rock influenced, you know. They really have pushed the boundaries in that aspect, and you guys are in good company with that. So
Yeah, it's nice to see that 604 is taking the initiative, taking the chances on like I like to believe this sort of signals the return of the arts development deal.
Yeah.
Like I literally haven't heard, other than what I hear a lot about is bands being scouted, somebody's at their show and then they hear nothing.
Yeah.
That's been happening a lot. Pretty much every one of my friends' bands has had that happen, but
It's streaming. Streaming is ruining albums.
that's something we've touched
that's
on
an
before.
entire podcast on its own.
Oh really? I have to watch that
We've already
podcast.
done
Should
a
we
bit of
steer
that.
away from that conversation?
Oh no, that's a great conversation. Well, what are you guys' thoughts on streaming?
For being able to like listen to something at like a snap, I love it. From an artist's perspective,
I really love getting those emails with 77 cents in them.
Oh yeah.
I know I can get the instant noodles that night. I'm good.
Happy camper.
yeah. We haven't gotten on Spotify. And apparently there was an artist with the same name as us, and our music got posted under their name. And
We
We're
have
lucky-
an unknown scientist that like just has our name.
What's his name?
He discovered like
Stevie.
red holes or something.
Stevie.
Wow,
They suck shit and whatever.
Has anybody? This is just a thing to throw out there, completely off topic. Has anybody ever made the connection of Stevie from Malcolm in the Middle in the wheelchair to Stephen Hawking? That was something that
I never watched that.
I haven't
that just
seen Malcolm in the Middle in years.
popped into my mind the other day, and
Is that
I was
a thing
like,
to confess on live television?
On live
I've never
podcasts.
seen Malcolm in the Middle.
well, with you guys. So, not to ask a lady their age, but how old are you guys?
19.
19?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the all ages scene in Vancouver?
Yes. Where do you guys play?
It was so difficult when we were 18 because we kept getting offered all of these 19 plus shows. And a couple of my friends are still 18 because they're just a year behind me in school. And they're like, Keely, when are you playing another all ages gig? And I'm like, those are so hard to come by.
Yeah.
Are your bandmates under 19?
Our drummer will be 17 in February.
And then the rest of us are 19.
Wow, that's cool.
20 this year turning.
Honestly, trying to being able to play in Vancouver, we've played at the Roxy, we've performed at the Blarney Stone in Gastown, and this is going to be our second gig at the
Railway.
what are they called? The Railway.
Cafe.
Railway or something?
The Railway Donnelly Group.
Yeah. Yeah. But really the only all ages show that we've played in Vancouver was at the Seventh Inning Dining Lounge, and that was last year, which was great, and a lot of
We got a great turnout for that one just because Isabel's got so many friends in Vancouver from UBC.
Yeah.
Isabel is friends with everyone. I just need to put that out there. She knows everyone.
But that's just a good all ages venue too.
It
If
is.
they move the tables, then that's
Yeah, but see, those really the only all ages shows that we've ever played have been around the South Surrey Red Rock area, with the exception of certain festivals in the summer, in Cloverdale and New West and stuff.
Yeah.
But
summer shows are pretty good for all ages because you've got all those outdoor gigs. We saw you guys at Seafest last summer.
which was awesome, by the way.
How was that all ages gig at the White Rock Youth Space or whatever? That's a super interesting thing. I haven't gotten to check it out yet, but I saw it. I scrolled past that, and I'm like, there's actually an all ages space.
Oh, for sure.
Happening here. That wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Ever when I longed for that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You guys are lucky.
No, it's a lot of my friends from high school work at the youth
24,
space.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's it's a youth space. Youth from the South Surrey Red Rock area can come. They have drop in and certain events all the time. I know a lot of the people there, and they were doing an open mic, and they wanted our band to perform, and we were like, yes, of course,
so cool.
all ages opportunity.
It was so cool just to see Isabel with a wireless microphone running around this hall, going up to all of her friends while we were just playing, and we were tied to our amps and stuff because cables and Red, of course, can't really move from the drum kit. But then Isabel's just running around with a wireless mic, having the time of her life, just being able to weave amongst her friends while we're playing music.
I have a really cringy wireless story.
Please go.
The first time my old band in high school, the first time we got wirelesses, they could only go 50 feet. We played a Battle of the Bands.
Oh no!
Wait, when was this?
Oh no!
2010.
Oh, that's wow.
This is OG. And we had a cover of Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Oh no.
And me and Brett, hi Brett,
McCready?
Yeah. Hi Brett McCready.
Earl Marriott represent. That's hilarious.
We had a dueling guitar solo part.
Nice.
And
no way.
Because you do that at Battle of the Bands.
And we jumped off the front of the stage and we crossed each other at the back, but we went too far back, so both of our guitars cut out. At the part where you're really digging into
the high note.
Or the bend and high note.
And we literally they cut out as we were looking at each other hey.
And then
I'm so sorry.
And we won.
What?
You still.
was there a rhythm guitarist that just got his moment at that time when you guys both came out? It's just just me, baby. God, that's so cringy.
So with all ages though, did you guys run into more trouble because you guys were underage, or is it more an issue of bringing a crowd and them not being able to...
Both.
When we were underage, you get into the venue and you have to leave 15 minutes before your set and leave 15 minutes after your set. So we were in and out and in and out and in and out.
You guys get the straight edge X's?
Oh yeah.
until finally Isabel hits 19 and we're in and we're out just because she comes to eat dinner with us, and then we're back in for the show, and then we're out and she stays there because she gets to stay and like laugh in all of our faces and watch the music, and the rest of us go and get ramen or something. Yes.
So you guys are versed to go play in LA. You guys are totally good for that. That's what I do.
LA when you're
I haven't even started thinking about outside of BC.
No, but you guys are good for that because they kick your gear out.
Oh really?
Literally, like,
I wasn't making the connection. Like what?
No.
I was like,
as soon you get there, you have your gear outside. You wait. As soon as that band has their gear off, you bring your gear in.
Wow.
Then you play it, and then you bring it out. You're done.
I think that the States actually has a different rule though about if you're under 21, you can't even play in a bar.
It's state by state is the problem.
It's state by state. Because we played Seattle once.
Oh nice, awesome.
And
before you hit 21 or
about one of our earlier Seattle shows where the sound guy was
our whole first West Coast tour we were under 21.
Yeah. True, but Seattle specifically was like, that guy was very angry at us for just like being on the stage because there was like
that was yeah, we'll cut that out.
Yeah.
Well, like, what was his name again?
We'll cut that out.
Insert Seattle venue here and insert angry guy here. But there was like a U-shaped booth kind of like off to the side of the stage, and we're just like, hey, we'll put our gear here and we'll hang out here. Like we're away from the bar.
Yeah, because we showed up for loading, but he wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And then he rolls in,
and he's just like,
the first thing he says, like, you guys hawking? Like, yeah. Like, out. We're like, okay.
Okay.
Like,
Sorry.
Like, yeah, nice to meet you. Are you Jay? Yeah, okay, cool. So is our gear cool? Oh, yeah, out? Okay.
I would just hang on the bus. And so that was our time of getting like kicked out 15 minutes before the show, play gear out after you play, and like very strict on that. And then there was another time, another state where they just wouldn't let us play.
Yeah, we had a show booked in Oakland. And we had an agent book that one for us, and he was very sure that there would be no problem. But there was a problem.
There's a big problem.
Narrator's voice. But there was a problem.
We head to the stairs up to the venue, and then
What? With all your gear and everything?
No, the gear was on the street.
Yeah.
Outside.
Being watched by someone?
We were there.
Mostly
because we weren't allowed in the venue.
It's Oakland.
It's
but to be fair, it's Oakland, so they're like super chill homeless.
That's
like
good.
everyone
That's
there was
good.
really nice.
California
is
good to the homeless. California now. Anyway,
we have a few more years of having a similar experiences until Rhett turns 19.
Yeah.
So
okay, so when we play shows, we sort of have a group of friend bands that we can call upon, and you know, like there's a certain group in the age group that we're in that all shift together.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys feel like there's a younger generation of bands that are sort of making their way up and like working hard?
I think so.
Yeah. We've got we've made some connections in the industry just based on bands that we really like playing with and bands that we've seen live. Not all of them are like in the same general age range as us, but like we've played a lot with a band called Air Stranger. And they're based in Vancouver.
Cool.
Insanely talented guys. They've got like a horn section. It's great. And then we've played with Derek Pitts and his band a couple of times. Cool. So once again, really great guy, really great band. Nice. And then Isabella and I went to see Sleepy Gonzalez perform.
Yeah, they're really
a
good.
while ago, and
that's a great band.
They're around.
I know.
Really good band.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
I like that almost as much as Elvis Depressedly.
Oh my gosh, that's a thing. Wow, that's really good.
The reason I was asking it is just because there's been talks about audiences in Vancouver not being audiences. There's no scene anymore. It's just friends going to shows, right?
Yeah.
So when we play shows, you see the same faces come to everything. And when you guys play shows, I'm assuming you guys see the same faces that sort of come to all those shows.
We have pretty dedicated friends, yeah.
So, how can we make it so that your people and our people just go to shows? There's no divide, you know? There's no...
I know the solution.
Make it better venue?
Yes.
Or I just like...
An all ages venue that is a venue.
Yeah.
And not a restaurant. Not an abandoned car garage. Just not that stuff. Because like, although those are good venues, they're great for like small shows. You can go to it, but like, you look at the next venue up from that is the Vogue.
Yeah. Well, like Biltmore, pretty much.
We had media
But like
club.
Biltmore,
but you mean for
wouldn't
all
do
ages?
all ages on like Saturdays and Fridays because they need to sell alcohol. They do it on like Sundays.
Yeah.
But like the Vogue
Like a
sells
matinee.
alcohol and is always all ages. Or like I think it's sometimes 16 plus if it's like an EDM artist. But like 16 plus is fine. So if there's a good all ages venue, like they get one of those abandoned theaters on Granville Street or something. And just put the
Oh my God,
the BC Music Fund or something, just throwing things out there and investing into a live space that can actually, do all
So
ages
you're
shows.
saying the fund for BC music should be spent actually helping BC music? We gotta get this guy a medal.
It's outrageous thinking. I can't do it.
Like,
It's too
in all
logical.
fairness, the property cost on Granville Street is probably way too high, but
Well, figure it out. We need an all ages.
yeah,
venue.
exactly. Or at least something like maybe along Main Street where it's not like the downtown core, but like at least along,
accessible by transit.
along a SkyTrain.
It's just, I think another thing to just kind of get that crowd and that sort of environment happening is just being like super persistent in networking and telling all sorts of people about your shows, even if they're not like super close friends of yours, like Keelia said before, like I know a lot of people from not only my high school, but just like now I know tons of people from UBC and from various different musical and non-musical people from all walks of life. And I just tell people all the time, hey, I'm in a band, we're performing with these other bands, here's our next show, do you want to come? And then sometimes they'll be like, yeah, for sure. And then some people will be like, yeah, that's not really my thing, but at least they know, right? And then I think as soon as more people it's kind of like word of mouth thing. Like you tell someone else, they'll tell someone else, they'll bring their friends, and eventually connections will be made. And it's just
you guys are starting such a good trend, though. Like you guys go to shows as fans. Too many bands go to shows to network. Like you said, networking is important. But if you're going to a friend's show or if you're going to someone's show,
You don't want to be talking about you. You want
exactly. Don't go and be like, "Hey, we're still a thing. Come look at my Facebook page too."
I was about to say like I like that you use the word networking because it's like it's a dirty word in the way that it often gets used.
Yeah.
But it's like because what you really mean is community building, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like there's such a thing as like running into someone who's like in a class with you, and it's like, oh, cool. Like let's be human.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Make them feel
that-
comfortable coming to more shows.
Absolutely.
If a person comes to their first show, they don't feel comfortable. They don't know anybody else there. Everyone else is talking.
I feel like that is really that's really the crux of what's going on is like it's not so much the crowd's not there. There's always going to be kids and young people who want to go out and have a good time to some loud ass music, but I think the elitism maybe just of the scene, the vibe in general, like if you watch a show at an empty venue here, it's like you can tell everybody's on edge because that bar owner is like only like he's this close to losing, to not being able to pay the property tax and whether or not you want to go into
There's that tension.
I was going to say, whether or not you want to, factor in the whole real estate thing that's happening in Vancouver, because that's obviously a macro thing, but
something else to get into.
yeah, exactly. But like overall, I think the community mentality, I think, is what needs to improve.
Well, yeah, people don't want to go to shows anymore to see bands. They just want to go because their friends are playing and they've been guilted into it.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big fan of meeting people and becoming friends with people who are as passionate about like writing and getting better at music as we are, and just being like, hey, obviously I'm gonna want to tell people about like our band because it's something I'm passionate about, but I also want to know what you're doing and what you want to create, and I don't see any downside to just supporting other artists as we get better and want to perform.
Well, it's a genre divide. I think that's the biggest thing. Is that like bands like us, we're progressive and sort of heavier and stuff, and people expect us to sort of stay in a niche. Having you guys on here has opened my eyes, at least. It like, as long as you have the same mentality, as long as you work hard, you want the same things, you want to build the scene, you want to build better venues and just have a good music scene in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what genre or what show you play, people will come, people will see it, people will support you. So
I think the best example of a band that's made it big and sort of stepped away from the niche and both angering fans and making some fans happy is Paramore, right?
Oh yeah,
like they started out heavy. They started out sort of in that
Warped Tour,
alt punk phase, Warped Tour, and now they've just slowly dwindled into something that's making them happier now. Like in like
there's a little 50-50 though because of what Haley has done and you know a bunch of lawsuits that are losing all the original members because of
they got one
the lawsuits and all. Well, yeah, they got the one who left first, and not his brother. And,
like everything,
it's a whole can of worms.
Their legal situations,
their legalities,
it's another can of worms entirely. But I think the thing with Paramore that's like it should send a message is that you don't have to stay in a niche because you can still garner those fans.
Yeah, because like I'm not a huge fan of their new album, but I appreciate what they're doing because it seems super genuine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I've been putting the new Paramore album on a lot just as background music because like it's not music I would like sit with headphones and listen on like the SkyTrain downtown kind of thing. But like I could be doing dishes or something or just something around the house where you just kind of have it playing and it's like a little bit upbeat. It's good.
Yeah.
And it's nice variety.
Oh, well, they've always been good at variety.
Yeah. We were listening to Pool on the drive here actually.
Yeah. No, I'm the guy that loves their old music. And loves their new music too.
I will give the new music more of a listen.
Yeah.
I'm jaded because I heard that they settled out of court and like that always means
that's not good for other members of the band.
Yeah, it's not good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really love her.
Yeah.
She's so talented.
I mean, that's vocal... like the first crush I ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
It was like redhead Haley.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Misery Business.
Misery Business was
like,
pink and green hair Haley with like a bob cut and I don't know what she's doing there.
The first music video I ever bought on iTunes to put on my
iPod video.
My iPod.
No way.
Was Emergency.
Wow, that's old Paramore.
Yeah, old, but like amazing.
So
I'll still be driving home from school and I'll be putting on like Pressure or Here We Go Again or something like that. But then like Hard Times will come on and I'll be like, I'm not going to switch this either.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, I don't mind that track.
Yeah, that's a good one.
and they got Zach back. Is it Zach?
It's Zach back. Yeah, Zach.
God, he's so good.
You know, he's in the. Have you heard Half Noise?
Talented drummer.
That's his side band?
Yeah.
I have not heard them.
I think they have two. They have 2 EPs out, and I've only heard their Velvet Face EP, and I love it.
Does
it's
he
great.
play drums on it?
I think he sings. He sings on it as well.
Why are all these fucking drummers so talented?
That's the one who does all of our harmonies. What?
No, I'm saying like the drummer of Under Oath is the singer and guitarist of the Almost. And then he drummed for Paramore. Yeah. Until Zach came back.
Every single one of the boys in our band plays drums.
Isn't that
every single one of them? They play drums.
Stop playing drums.
Stop.
You guys are too good. Too much competition.
Does Saul play drums? Saul, do you play drums?
Saul, do you play drums? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
No. I would love to have Justice comment. I'll sponsor the post.
Nah.
Posted by Saul Sitar.
I do not know the way.
But
watch it be, but it'll be like posted as Hawking or something. It's like no dash Saul.
Posted by Saul.
Yo, but back to the niches thing though. Like what I find so promising about younger bands. I know you guys aren't that much younger, but you're I see you guys are. When I say younger, I mean you guys are like what
your new wave.
We weren't playing. But it's like bands in our wave. A wave is a better way to like we weren't like playing with you guys at Joe's apartment on the way. Like we're different sort of
the old
timeline.
We're kind of the same generation, but a different wave.
Yeah, different. Like chronological layers or whatever. But what's so promising is that you guys get to like what was so tough for us was our climb. Our the position you guys are in now. When we were there, the toughest thing was what was happening with the Peak Performance Project because that's a bit like trying to fly. Yeah, like even that's like an thing to you. Like that was your universe if you were trying to make music in Vancouver. And it's like trying,
my dad tried to get us to sign up for that too.
And it's like trying to drive a spaceship past a fucking black hole. You're gonna get pulled into it.
If you're in the scene. Well, they ran the scene. They were the dictators of it.
Exactly. They were the dictators. They were the gatekeepers. It was an absolute...
that was where the money was. That's where all the fame was. That's where all the notoriety was.
And genre-wise, I think it seems, at least to me, that it caused this big shift where, like, I think no matter how bad you want to play something that isn't indie rock, when they're giving away $100,000 and then $50,000 and then $30,000 for indie rock, and it's not a competition to be the best band, it's a competition to fit the format the best and essentially please the advertisers the best, which has always been
please
the game.
The audience too.
Yeah, exactly.
I will write "Shape of You" by Ed Sheeran for fucking $100,000.
Like, I don't mean to knock it. It's just that like, I'm not gonna eat, I don't know, just Wonder Bread my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, Wonder Bread's great if you're at a hot dog party and you want, like, you know what I mean? Like, but
You know what I mean?
I actually do.
when you're on tour and it's 3 a.m. and you're staying at a Flying J and you're like,
Here's the chef
Just
board.
want a Wonder
Bread. Cold chef board.
yeah, but no, like, yeah, exactly. The cold Chef Boyardee of music.
Yeah.
Straight, only that getting support for 7 years. Man, that's what's up, you know? And
anything to make you appreciate other genres.
Exactly.
I just want to kind of a quick brief of my life in music industry. It'll take like 2 minutes, but it's just like, it has to do with the Peak Performance Project. So I was late to, I got into like more music seriously and heavy music in like grade 9. That was when the Peak Performance started, ish, around that time.
Yeah, 2009.
And I would always be listening to all these bands, and I would look at their tours, and none of them would come to Vancouver. None of them. That would be Seattle. So I went to Seattle to go see Sleeping with Sirens, Avenged Sevenfold, like all those Warped Tour bands, because they wouldn't come to Vancouver because there was no scene for that in Vancouver. Like, as I was playing and listening to all this music nonstop, I was like, okay, maybe it's just because of the border. And then now, fast forward, Peak Performance is gone. August Burns Red just played the Vogue. Avenged Sevenfold's coming in 2 weeks. Intervals is playing. Jason Richardson, all these bands are coming. Paris is coming. Although Paris would have fit.
I know.
Stuff,
I don't know how stoked they are for that show though, because the last time they played the Vogue.
Well, they were opener though. So,
but still, it was Mayday Parade, Tonight Alive, and
most people came
Knuckle
for
Puck.
That should have been packed out.
No, it was Major League.
Major League.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be there. So.
Yeah, there was maybe like 40 to 50 people there. Maybe.
But yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Is like, it was not. Like, there was a time where it was just not happening, and then conveniently, when the Peak Performance ended, all of a sudden,
people delivered.
all these concerts are coming here.
Well, it was again, I don't want to knock it, because, you know, if you're funding music
that much
where we are, neat, awesome. It's just, you know, it's putting all the pressure on one point, but it got to be so inflated. It got to be so, I guess, engorged would be a graphic word.
Well, imagine
it becomes a parasite on it sucks up the resources for everything else, literally financially.
Imagine being like, I don't know, Sleeping with Sirens, for example, just because I said them before, and you're pretty much going and you're booking your tour, and then your booking agent is like, oh, you don't need to go to Vancouver, it's an indie city.
No.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that. And you'd be like, okay, cool, we just won't do tour, or we won't do Vancouver, we'll just go to Seattle and then continue on. And stuff like that. Or like any genre. You could be like let's say, I don't know, is Boston like a pretty metal heavy one?
Boston?
Well, what's like a metal
Boston
city?
hardcore.
Oh, good.
Boston hardcore.
Gainesville, Florida. Off the top of my head. Super.
Okay, but like,
super
is
metal.
Boston like a pretty metal focused city, or like a hardcore city?
There's a lot of hardcore and a lot of Berkeley jazz.
Okay, so imagine being like a folk artist.
Yeah.
And you're doing a tour, and your booking agent is just like, don't go to Boston. Like, it's not worth it. It's a metal city.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling that the foresight was not given to that.
Yeah.
That nobody thought, this is gonna completely suck up everything else that's going on, and then it's going to go away.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, 2016 was a real barren year for music. And like everything was gone. There was nothing new in place. 9 out of the 12 panel members on Music BC had been switched over. And there was no unified vision. And I guess the thing I'm trying to get at is basically it's up to us and you guys and whoever else is in the community to make the new vision. And that's what's so promising about seeing a band like you guys get a demo deal struck with the main label in town. Like that's a beacon of hope. Like for actual diversity, you know, and thriving.
For sure.
It seems like it's been throughout the industry, though. I mean, even when you're looking at Best New Artists and the Grammys or whatever, they're all artists you know. Yeah. There's no, like, you know, starter ones. The YouTube Awards, it's not about the YouTube artists that have, you know, a lot of views. It's Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift up for Best Video and stuff. Like, I don't give a shit about that. I want you know, new upcoming talent. So seeing that 604 did that with you guys is really incredible for us to see, at least, because they are the powerhouse label. But the fact that they are looking at emerging artists and like working with them to sort of not mold you guys, because you guys will stay how you are and you will make the music you want to. But they're giving you a platform where you can reach out further. So I'm super happy they're doing that.
And they've just got such a mix with what they offer too, like Theory of a Dead Man, Mariana's Trench, Carly Rae Jepsen. They've got country artists,
hip hop,
Default. All of those.
Default's still good. That's awesome.
I don't know if they're still going, but they were.
Because Danny Craig.
That's Danny.
I think they were with 604 and now he's doing the producing stuff.
Well, they've done it well too, because they don't outsource to anybody. They have photos, videos, the Infinity Wall, they have studio inside, marketing department, everything.
They give you like just a ball pit to make mistakes in. I guess you know, to take chances, and that's the biggest thing. I think that's the toughest thing for bands on their way up, is being like, you know, you don't have like $5,000 to try shit. You have $500 to barely scrap together. What do we do with this? You know, nothing costs $500.
You also have a ton of people to ask, is this the right thing to do? Because we've had too many where we just do it anyway. This is the wrong thing to do.
The thing with independent bands in the music industry is if you're going to go record at a studio and you're not signed somewhere, you're forking out a ton of money. And it's definitely a gamble too, because you never know what's going to come out of what you're putting that money into.
So what do you guys feel is the number one thing that a band needs to give back to the community to build back what we wish we had here?
Honestly, go to local shows. Go out and support people that you've met in the industry. I know Facebook is basically obsolete, but you're adding people that you meet on Facebook that in the industry. You go to their shows, you support them.
You heard it here first, everybody. You know? Facebook is out.
You heard it here first, kids. Honestly, I just want to second that. Like going to shows that like local shows around like Vancouver and like supporting your friends and supporting people.
Not for personal gain either, just to support.
Because it's just like
giving with an expectation of return isn't really giving. You know?
That's a really great point.
Thanks.
I make those sometimes.
That's awesome. Well, we're gonna wrap this up soon, but first, let's go around the table. We'll start with you. I'm sorry. Really quick.
He's not really
like
sorry, though.
top album or artist, or like what are you jamming this week?
I've gone back to one of the bands we used to listen to from Indian Lakes.
Ooh.
What's the record label? Something Crown label?
Oh, Triple Crown.
Triple Crown. Yeah. Big fans of this.
I haven't
What are
listened
they
to anything.
like? Because I've heard their name, but I don't.
Indian Lakes?
Yeah.
Like chill acoustic indie emo.
I love it. That's awesome.
It used to be more like on the emotional, like angsty side, and now it's like a little more finger picky singer songwriter.
It's got a bit of everything in it.
That's so
really
cool.
Nice. They've
That's
got
awesome.
heavy bits. They've got soft bits. Really like nice intro.
Even like a bit like proggy stuff here and there. Very well balanced.
That's really cool.
I was on Riverdale for 15 hours yesterday, and so I listened to a lot of music. And Leprous, the Melina, right? Yeah, I think that's their newest album. Because I knew like their single, and I liked it. I knew like a few other songs just from you playing them in the car, but I never actually gave them a proper
We are
listen.
massive fans, so come to Vancouver and let us play with you.
Yeah, Leper's gone. I think they're in Australia right now.
But yes, that's my album of the week.
Nice.
Awesome. Cool. Does it have to be one? Because
No.
No.
Sorry, I'll just do this really quick. I recently started listening to the album Younger by Royal Oak, and because they've been in that band that I've been wanting to get into for a while, and I love it.
Shadow Rogue, you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also Sir. I don't know if it's like Seriously or Sir Sly.
Sir
I don't know
Sly.
whether,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I recently got into their
Sir Sly's
their album.
fantastic.
Love them
Unbelievable.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much what I've been listening to for the past little bit.
Tight.
Yeah. This week for me, it's been mostly Amy Mann Lost in Space album.
Never.
What do they sound like? I don't know.
It's kind of like, I think it's early 2000s, but like grunge 90s.
Okay.
Interesting.
Like
Also
kind
his
of.
alley.
Kind of like singers.
She's kind of like a mix of like female singer-songwriter with mellow Nirvana, I want to say.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I cannot
Sounds
picture
good.
that whatsoever.
The only grunge I'm really into.
Yeah.
I don't know. Touch Me, I'm Sick by Mudhoney was like.
Yeah.
I covered that with a band when I was like 13.
Is it
Mudhoney.
like sloppy grunge? Or like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very like super
Okay.
just
I'm
fuzz
years
grunge.
too late, but I'm just getting into like early grunge music now.
sick.
So.
It's never too late for grunge.
Yeah.
For me, it's been Hacken and
Always. That's good.
Dutch rap,
Yeah.
as always.
Whatever.
Mini Tripper.
I think Hawken's gonna be my next adventure.
There's
Dabble
something
into that,
about the
'cause they're
melodies
like-
that they have.
They're like Leprous meets Dream Theater.
Yeah,
You love
so-
Dream Theater, and now you got the Leprous.
Yeah, so Hawken will be next.
That's super sick. Well, hey, this has been super fun. Thank you guys so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
for
So
having
much for
us.
coming on.
Thanks
This
for
was
having us.
awesome. Yeah, The Escapes, check them out. You guys are playing at the Railway, what date?
February 16th.
Nice.
They even said it together.
Go see it. Go see it with your friends in unison as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care. That's the thing we do at the end.
It actually
God.
did fall, so keep that and have that as a
Amazing.